Welcome to The Complete Teacher, 101 meaningful, bite-sized professional development lessons, each coming with thought-provoking titles, relevant, inspiring quotes, helpful text with anecdotes, data, and wisdom, and action steps. Lesson 14, Support All Students. MTSS, PBIS, UDL, RTI, oh my. If a child doesn't know how to read, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to swim, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to multiply, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to drive, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to behave, we teach, punish. Why can't we finish the last sentences automatically as we do the others? That's from Tom Herner, NASDE president. The 2, 3, and 4-letter acronyms in the above title can produce a wide range of reactions. To many teachers, these acronyms may be completely foreign. For some teachers, these frameworks set the tone and shape the practices for an entire teaching career, rightly aiming to behaviorally and academically support all students. Let's define each of these acronyms, provide context, and highlight the collective value that such frameworks can have on the career of a teacher. First, let's start with MTSS. Something of an umbrella term for several other frameworks, the Multi-Tiered System of Support, or MTSS, comprehensively addresses instruction, differentiated learning, individualized needs, and systems that support students' academic, behavioral, and social success. Tier 1 supports aim to reach most students, for example, having classroom rules, school initiatives, positive relationships in general. Tier 2 supports aim to reach some students that need it, such as small group instruction or behavior contracts. And Tier 3 supports aim to reach just a few students. Think 504s, IEPs, counseling, one-on-one. Now let's look at RTI, or sometimes RTI squared. RTI is response to intervention. RTI squared is response to intervention and instruction. RTI squared is a multi-tiered process under the MTSS umbrella, focusing on systematic support for special education, English learners, gifted learners, and others. RTI squared is a fluid approach that includes levels of support such as reading or math interventions. Now let's look at PBIS. Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. PBIS is a multi-tiered approach to support social, emotional, and behavioral needs, particularly targeting underrepresented groups. PBIS principles include positive or proactive approaches to discipline, explicitly teaching behavior, and flexible approaches for children. PBIS also encourages restorative justice and restorative practices involving victim, offender, and community members in the process of reconciliation. UDL, Universal Design for Learning, aims to give students equitable access to a high-quality education through lesson design around flexible learning experiences. UDL embraces learner variability, recognizes and removes learning barriers, and promotes expert learners. Students need different ways to learn, are motivated by choices in their learning experiences, and benefit from having options for demonstrating mastery. UDL incorporates common approaches that would be found in GLAD strategies, for example, guided language acquisition development, studying learning modalities, or applying differentiated instruction. UDL takes differentiation a step further by not predetermining variations in content, learning processes, student products, and learning environments. UDL leaves room for students to practice metacognition, consider how they learn best, and apply choice to their learning. Consider the development of some of these frameworks in a California context. California's 6 million students is more numerous than the entire population in at least 30 other U.S. states. Factor in the state's unparalleled diversity, and it becomes clear why California schools regularly underperform compared to schools in the other 49 states. Achievement gaps persist in California school districts with regard to race, foster youth, special education, and poverty. Regardless of affluence, California schools have a history of disproportionately suspending minority and socioeconomically disadvantaged populations. These are just a few examples of why MTSS, RTI squared, and PBIS have been statewide focal points in recent years. On the East Coast, UDL was born in Connecticut and embraced for many of the same reasons: addressing equity, designing lessons that support all types of students, keeping individuals from falling through the cracks. Supporting all students through MTSS, RTI squared, PBIS, UDL, or similar approaches seems wonderful, yet many educators remain cynical. Why are there such strong negative reactions to some of these frameworks? Simply put, it is hard work to reach students that are hard to work with. Offering flexibility can threaten classroom routines, order, or teacher authority. Changing one's approach to teaching may blur lines, mislay accountability, or compromise high expectations. In the old mindset, needy students were outsourced. You got intervention, you got 504s, you got IEPs, or behavior students were eventually moved out by unwavering progressive discipline. In the same way that the California 3 strikes law is largely viewed as a failed policy, rigid progressive discipline wasn't the best answer to correct student behavior in the state either. With a new mindset, these types of frameworks put supports in place to help struggling students find success. Working with hard students is hard work, but it is rewarding work, and it is as important as the work teachers do with gifted students, average students, or compliant students. Action steps. Consider your mindset when it comes to working with challenging students. Which framework might help you to shift your approach and embrace the hard work of working with hard to work with students? Need a copy of all the Complete Teacher lessons on slides? Looking for an e-reader or physical copy of the Complete Teacher? Want to browse thousands of other top-rated engaging resources? Check out the links below.